Anybody that doesn't know me, my name is Greg, and I'm one of the deacons here at MPC. And it's very good to see you here this Sunday morning. Now, I have the privilege of being able to serve here, and we've been going through a message for a little while called Paracletos. Our Pastor Chris, has been leading us on that. And last week, he taught us a message on how to choose the right church. So if you want to catch up on any of those messages, if you want to go ahead and go back and look at any of our old messages, you can go ahead and go and log right into our YouTube channel. Just go ahead and search Mesa Praise Church, El Paso. And like I said, you can find any of our previous messages in any of our series. But right now we are in between messages. We are in between series. And today we're going to be learning about grace. So if you've been around church at all, if you've been to church even once, I'm sure you've heard that word used very often. Perhaps you're familiar with the song Amazing Grace. Now I may be mistaken, but I think every Christian denomination sings Amazing Grace. Now, I grew up Catholic, and I remember singing that song every now and then as well. Now, I don't think the song is simply popular because it's catchy, although it's kind of catchy. But because God's grace truly is amazing. God is rich in grace, much richer than one sermon, much richer than I will be able to do it justice today. But I'm going to try. So today we're going to look into a few aspects of His grace. Because as believers, it is in His grace that we stand. It is in His grace that we do what we do, and that we can live the life that He wants us to live. And if we're not believers, you know what? It is still by His grace that we're here today. See, now the most amazing thing about God's grace is that it's free. I say it's amazing because that's, I think, what makes it a little too hard to believe. That something so great can be free. Almost like someone offers you $1 million with no strings attached, other than for you to trust that He's giving you that money for free. See, and this is where I struggle. This may be perhaps where all of us would struggle. Because let's be honest, we can all be very performance-oriented. When I go to work, I expect a check. My boss expects good work. Even from church, we expect a good service. So I hope I don't let you down. We may expect our spouses or our kids to treat us a certain way, and we even expect God to do certain things for us, right? Because we have done certain things for Him. You know, I came to church this week, God. Bless my trip, my business, the Dallas Cowboys. See, that's why they need your prayers. In other words, if I do this for God, then God does this for me. Kind of like a vending machine, God. You put the money in, you get the grace. But God's grace is unmerited favor. In other words, God loves, accepts, and blesses us. Not based on what we do, but based on what He did and who He is. Based simply on His pleasure and His delight to be good to us. You see, the New Testament uses the word charis, which is in the Greek, to talk about grace. That is, when you see the word grace, that's what you see most often. It's a translation of charis. And that has to do with joy. It has to do with pleasure. It has to do with delight, with sweetness, with charm. It is His grace, His charm, if you will, that influences our soul so that we may turn to His Son. No one is more charming than our God. His grace keeps us, strengthens us, and increases our faith. So like I said, God is rich in grace. And so I want to explain some of the ways that His grace is active in our lives as believers in Christ. As believers in Christ. So, yes, we're going to get to the Bible, so go ahead and take out your Bibles, and we're going to be flipping all over the place, so I hope you guys are ready. Have quick hands. First, we're going to turn to 1 John, John chapter 1, John chapter 1, verse 16. You don't have a Bible, that's fine. Just go ahead and raise your hand, and one of the ushers can make sure to give one to you. Now, you can also follow along on your smartphones, or if you have a tablet, you can do that as well. Now in this book, the Apostle John, he's the guy that wrote it. He said it best as he's introducing us to Jesus. John was one of Jesus' followers. He was there with him throughout Jesus' ministry. So he had a personal witness of God's grace. He said in John chapter 1, verse 16, "For from his fullness we have all received grace upon grace." You see, John, like I said, witnessed for himself who Jesus really was. Jesus was just not some random rabbi. There was a lot of them back then. He was not just teaching them the good ways of God. He is the incarnate God. He is the one through whom all things were made. He is the creator of everything you and I see, hear, and touch, and taste. Everything that we see was made through him. So from his fullness, we have all received. See, there's not one thing that we have, or that we have ever had, that finds its source in us. Everything finds its source in him. God is rich in grace. I had a good friend many years ago. His name is Doran Morgan. I'm sure some of you guys know who he is. And he told me one time, we were talking about why more people don't come into our small groups. And he's like, I don't understand why more people don't turn to God really. When all God wants to do is bless them. And that really is an amazing question, isn't it? Why more people don't turn to God when all he's doing is trying to bless them? Have you ever been to a buffet? Probably. We didn't even know where to start. There was so much food. Everything. Chinese, Mexican, American, you name it. By the time you came back, you had a plate with a mountain of food on it, right? Because you have to have a little bit of everything. Obviously, I have. Now, can you imagine someone adding more to that little mountain? And I think we do that. Now, that's how I'd like to think of God's grace. In other words, we've got a pile of grace here, and God just went and poured out another pile on top of it. So that's the title of today's message. Grace upon grace. So why does that matter to us? We'll go ahead and take out the bulletin. And on the outline, our first point for today is, through God's grace, we are saved. Through God's grace, we are saved. Look at what Ephesians 2, verses 8 through 9 says. It says, "For by grace you have been saved through faith, and that is not your own doing. It is the gift of God, not a result of works, so that no one may boast." See, just a few verses before this, the Apostle Paul, who wrote this letter, talks about our condition before we came to Christ. He says that we were dead. He explains this condition before us coming to faith. He says our condition is a terminal condition. So our salvation didn't come as a result of anything we did. It wasn't a result of our good behavior. It wasn't a result of that we did more good than the bad that we had done. Because what can dead people do? The death he refers to is spiritual death. It is to be dead to God. Dead to God. It is the absence of life, because outside of God, there is no real life. So you might say, you know what? I know people that are not Christian and they do good things. And I would have to agree. That's true. Everyone is capable of doing good things. Because everyone is made in the image of God. So we retain some of his qualities. But what matters to God is the reason why we do those things. Do we do them for us, or do we do them for God? See, before coming to faith, we had no relationship with him. We had no hope to spend this life or any life with him, and really no desire to do it. It doesn't say we had bumps and bruises. It says we were dead. Now, I'm sure some of us can understand what that looks like. I'm sure some of us can look back at the things that we did, at the things that were done to us, and realize they were actions from a dead person. See, I know that there are many times that I have questioned why I did certain things. Take comfort, though, in knowing one thing: you were dead. And apart from God, apart from God's gracious hand, you would have never believed, and you would have never been saved. There is absolutely nothing that you or I can do to make ourselves alive in this sense. We're saved from our hopeless situation purely by God's delight. And it is God's delight for us to come to Him and experience His love. So again, in the Gospel of John, in chapter 11, we find the story of a man named Lazarus. I'm sure you've heard of him. Lazarus was a friend of Jesus, and he had become ill. It's not in your outline, but I'm just going to summarize the story for you because it would be too long for me to read it for you. The Bible says that Jesus loved Lazarus. And if you're familiar with the story at all, you know that Jesus was approached while Lazarus was still sick. But he decided not to go to him then. Instead, he waited until he passed. But when he passed, Jesus showed his power over death, right? Victory by raising him to life. He did this to glorify God and so that his disciples would trust him, would believe him. Now the funny thing is, poor Lazarus, he didn't contribute anything to this. He didn't contribute anything to being raised from the dead other than getting sick and dying. The only thing that we contribute to our salvation is our sin. Because of our sins, we need to be saved. We need to be restored to God. God takes the matter into His own hands and gives us grace. So the result is we have nothing to be proud of. Nothing to be proud of on our own. Unless we want to brag about our sins and the fact that we're sinners. See, everything has been an act of grace from God on our behalf. As the verse says, our salvation is a gift. So let those who boast with the Lord. So let me ask you this. Have you been trying to earn your salvation? You know what I mean by this is, have you been trying to make yourself good enough for God? If you're not already saved, it will never work. God takes dead things and brings them back to life. A restored relationship with God is open to you for free by what Jesus accomplished on that cross for you. Salvation is God's gift. So, you know, this morning as I was having my quiet time with God, I have a frame in my living room with a cross and a crown of thorns on it and a scarlet robe. And it says, I asked Jesus how much he loved me. And then he stretched out his hands and invited me. And I realized one thing. You went the distance for me. You went all in for me. You took it the whole way for me. You love me this much. And I thank God for His love. So let me tell you, if you haven't trusted Him yet, today might be the day. Maybe you need to have a quiet time. Maybe you need to get alone in your room and pray and kneel down and tell God and be honest, hey, you know what, I've been trying to save myself. It's been 20 years, it's been 30 years. Heck, it's been my whole life. I've been trying to prove myself. But from now on, I want to go with you because you went the distance for me. From now on, I will trust what you did to save me and bring me back to you. Through grace, we have been saved. Our second point is this. Through God's grace, we receive power for our weaknesses. 2 Corinthians 12:9 says this. But he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore I will boast all the more gladly of my weaknesses, so that the power of Christ may rest upon me. See, here now we find a real reason to boast. Our weaknesses. Isn't that counterintuitive? I don't know anybody that likes to boast about the weaknesses. Anybody here have weaknesses? Somebody might talk with you more. I don't think it takes much time on planet Earth to start discovering that we have weaknesses. Now, some of us, as we get older, we start to develop new weaknesses, right? Some of the greatest men in the Bible had weaknesses themselves. One of those was this guy, the Apostle Paul. You see, aside from Jesus, no one else contributed more to the New Testament than the Apostle Paul. He was really a great man, and yet he was riddled with weakness. You know, it's a false belief that says, I must be strong in order for God to work through me. It is often through our weaknesses that God shows His strength. God's grace gives us power in our weakness and over our weakness. Going all the way back into the Old Testament, God chose a weak man named Gideon. I don't know if you've heard of this guy. He chose him to lead an army and to save his people. Let me read for you Judges 6, 15 to 16. Now this is Gideon responding to God after God calls him. And he said, please Lord, how can I save Israel? God had asked him, you're going to go save Israel. Behold, my clan is the weakest in Manasseh, and I am the least in my father's house. I'm weaker than weak. And the Lord said to him, but I will be with you, and you shall strike the Midianites as one man. You know, God is saying, okay, Deacon, you don't have to tell me that you're weak. I know that. That's why I chose you, because you're weak, not because you're strong. I chose to display my strength through you, and this is not about you. I will be with you. See, it's not your strength that we need to trust in. It's in my strength. You know, perhaps that's what God is saying to you here today. It is not because you are so strong that I have chosen you, but rather to display my strength through you. What is it, first of all, in your life that you know God has been pointing at? You know God has the finger on that. And God is saying, and you're telling God, hey, I can't do that. You're too weak. I'm too weak for that. Sorry. See, every time that you go back and you, on your knees in prayer, it's the same thing. See, God is telling you, perhaps, to serve Him in some way. Is He telling you to go and talk to someone that you haven't in so long because you were mad at them? And you told them, hey, I can't. God is saying, I will be with you. Is God calling you to face some fear? Gideon was afraid when God found him. See, a lot of you that know me, some of you probably don't. I know I've said it before, but I had a terrible phobia of doctors. It was just a terrible phobia. It was crippling. I mean, bad. Every single time that I walked into the doctor's office for whatever reason, I would get an anxiety attack, a panic attack while I was in there. So I just stopped going. I just said, no, the heck with it. Doctors are bad for me. Now, shortly after being saved, I started sensing God say, you know what, Greg? You can't live it through. You gotta go face this. And I was like, no, I don't think so. I don't want to. I can just serve you here just fine. You keep me healthy. So it took more than a year for me to say, okay, God, I will do it. But you know what? I'm glad that I did. I've been to so many appointments since then. It's been 10 years now, almost. But because I had to. In the last year, I had to have knee surgery. Now, can you imagine if I had chosen to tell God no? I'm not going to do it. I would still be limping around this church for no reason. You see, I was weak and didn't want to face my fears. But when God promised to go with me, I was able to go. It was His grace that enabled me to have power. And by power, I mean courage. Little by little, He gave me the power to face more and more fears, including my fear of public speaking. But it's not that I don't get scared anymore. It's that I believe that God is with me. You see, the Scripture never teaches us exactly what Paul's weakness was. There's a lot of speculation. What could his weakness have been? Some have said that it was his eyes. And quite frankly, I thought that too. Someone said it was a person that was persecuting him. A bully, if you will. I even had someone tell me that it was a witch. I don't know what that means. See, but I thank God that he didn't reveal to us what his particular weakness was. The truth is, whatever thorn Paul had, God's grace was enough for him. And whatever thorn you have, God's grace is enough for you. And maybe this is you today. And God's grace is whatever is enough for you, whatever weakness you may have. You may think God cannot work through me because of some impediment. Moses gave God the excuse that he couldn't speak. And I love what God told Moses. Didn't I give man his mouth? Didn't I make your mouth, Moses? Could it be that the very weakness that you have is the one that God is going to work through? Could it be that the very weakness that you are struggling with now is the weakness by which you will see His power more than you have ever seen it? More than if you just work to become stronger? The answer is not to become stronger. It's to allow God's grace to shine through. Now this doesn't mean that we don't ask God to remove our weakness. Sometimes He does. Other times He continues to work through us in spite of it. You see, through God's grace, we're saved. Number 2, we receive power for our weaknesses. And number 3, through God's grace, we can overcome sin. Look at Romans 6:14. Romans 6:14 says, "For sin will have no dominion over you, since you are not under law, but under grace." You see, to have dominion is to have control over you. Anything that has control over you oppresses you, abuses you, bullies you. Sin is like a slave master that oppresses us, more than it is something that we do. Jesus said that all who sin are slaves of sin. Through God's grace, we have been made free from the old slave master, so that we no longer have to sin. Because that's the key. We no longer have to sin. We no longer have to answer when sin calls. We can say no. We can turn off the computer. We can change the channel. We can cut our credit card. We can confess to someone. You see, one of the lessons that I have had to learn is that sin is no longer my master. You see, it is easy to continue in cycles of sin because it is familiar and we default to it. Like slaves who are free but are still living and adhering to our old ways of thinking or acting. One of the best things to learn is that we don't have to sin. But we do have to make a change. And I know it's easier said than done, but I was recently struck by something a pastor said, Pastor Tim Keller. Actually, it's something he wrote regarding the temptation to sin. He explains that there's a difference between can't and won't. We've been given to the power to overcome sin. Truth is, sometimes we just won't. He says it like this, when we have this temptation. I can't resist doing this, though I know it is wrong. We must be careful here, because sin has addictive power. It is true that we may not be able to, through sheer willpower, to stop doing something by ourselves. But we can get help. We can admit our problem, humble ourselves, cry out to God for mercy and transformation, become accountable. God always gives us a way out. No sinful thought or action is inevitable and irresistible. If we don't, it's likely that we would simply rather keep sinning in that way, excusing it with our inability to do anything else. So what sin are you struggling with today? Is it pornography? Is it bitterness? Some sort of addiction? You can do something about it. Reach out to someone today. Come up here right after the service so that we can pray for you. Find someone that you can talk to about it. Get help. There are many ministries and programs and people that are willing to help you overcome it. All through God's grace. See, God hasn't left you to battle sin on your own. He has given you grace, and sometimes that grace comes through the people that He has put around us. Jesus has paid the price. He already paid the penalty. And what it means to be under the law is meaning that we have to behave perfectly and earn our way. But He already did it. And He hasn't left His helpless. That is God's grace. Again, God's grace saves us, helps us in our weakness, helps us overcome sin, and next, through God's grace, we are free from the performance trap. We are free from the performance trap. Romans 3:23 and 24 says, "For all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God, and are justified by His grace as a gift, through the redemption that is in Christ Jesus." You see, the thing here is that we have all sinned. We're all in the same boat, whether we want to admit it or not. In the performance trap is this whole idea of what I said earlier, the idea of trying to be good enough. Really what it is, it's an attempt to be God. It is trusting in yourself rather than trusting in God. So how do you know you're stuck in the performance trap? Well, one way is you feel like a failure. You feel like you can't quite measure up. No matter what you do, you are never good enough, pretty enough, strong enough. You don't have enough faith. You don't pray enough. You don't read enough. So on and so forth. It's condemnation. Sometimes it is self-condemnation. Sometimes it is condemnation that comes from others. And unfortunately, sometimes it is condemnation that we give to others. It is the hallmark of religiosity that has no relationship with God. You see, because of sin, we are already condemned. But God gives us a way out called justification. Romans 8:1 says about condemnation like this: "There is therefore now no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus." Justification is just a fancy word that means that all of God's demands, all of His laws have been perfectly met in Christ and in us who believe in Christ. Jesus did it for us, and through His grace, we receive His perfect record of gift. You know who was stuck in the performance trap? The Pharisees. Look at Luke 18:9-14. It's not on your outline. You can turn there if you'd like. I'm going to go ahead and read it. Luke 18:9-14. It's a parable. He told this parable to some who trusted in themselves that they were righteous and treated others with contempt. Two men went up into the temple to pray. One a Pharisee and the other a tax collector. The Pharisee, standing by himself, prayed thus: "God, I thank you that I am not like other men, extortioners, unjust, adulterers, or even like this tax collector. I fast twice a week. I give tithes of all that I get." But the tax collector, standing afar off, wouldn't even lift up his eyes to heaven, but beat his breast, saying, "God, be merciful to me, a sinner." I tell you, this man went down to his house justified rather than the other. For everyone who exalts himself will be humbled, but the one who humbles himself will be exalted. The Pharisee was the religious guy, and the tax collector was the sinner, the so-called sinner, right? What the Pharisee had failed to realize is that he was also a sinner. It's an act of humility to admit that we're sinners, but also to stop trying to impress God and others with our attempts at religion. The price has already been paid. To redeem means to pay. That is what God gives through Christ. He has given us the payment of the debt of what was owed for our sins. God gives you His grace for free. Just admit that you need it. See, I hope some of us can really let that sink in. I know that this is an area for me where I am prone to stumble at times and think, "Greg, you're so good. You've achieved something. Here's something for your merit." It is God who has given me everything that I have. It is God who has paid for everything. So through God's grace we're saved, given power, overcome sin, and we're freed from the performance trap. But finally, because of all of this, we're enabled to serve. We are enabled to serve. And that's what God wants, is servants. It says in Romans 12:6-8, having gifts that differ according to the grace given to us, let us use them. In prophecy, in proportion to our faith. In our service, in our serving. The one who teaches, in teaching. The one who exhorts, in exhortation. The one who contributes, in generosity. The one who leads, with zeal. The one who does acts of mercy, with cheerfulness. You know, the funny thing is our Pastor Chris is going to continue Paracletos, he was telling me. And we're going to be talking about the gifts of the Spirit. And coincidentally, this verse came up. But see, here's the thing. Since we have now been justified, we are free to serve God without the performance and without the fear of failure. We'll serve God to earn His favor. We already have it. We've already been justified. We do it as an expression of those people that have been favored by God. You know, no one can come to God, no one can come as a believer and say to God, you haven't given me any gifts. Everyone that is saved receives from God the ability to serve God's people. Some are given the gift of prophecy like we saw. Some are given the gift of service. Some are given the gift of teaching. Some encouragement. Some generosity, leadership, mercy, etc. I don't believe that's an exhaustive list. Whatever that gift is, we are to use it, not waste it. See, not everyone has the same gift, but we all have a gift. Not everyone has the same faith, but we all have something. Some have more, while some have less. God is not looking for you to see what great thing you can do with the gift He has given you. He is looking for you to use your gift faithfully. It's not simply to serve here at the church, but to serve the church. Amen. The church being God's people, wherever they may be, even in your own house. See, God has given you some of you the gift of leadership in your own home. Use it wisely. He's giving you the gift to encourage your wife, your kids, your husband. You are to serve, not just at your church, but wherever God's people may be found. You see, Jesus taught a parable called the parable of the talents. It was a story in which a master gives his servants a certain amount of money. It says in proportion to their faith. And they're to go and make business with this money. And when he returns, he brings the servants to account. He says, okay, let's see what you did with the money I gave you. See, the first two, they did really good. They multiplied what God had given them. And God commended them for it. They put their master's money to work. But the third servant was scared. So he took the gift and he hid it, fearing his master. The servant was not commended at all. He was rebuked. And what he had was taken away. The scripture says that the master called him a wicked and lazy servant and sent him to the place of outer darkness. Ouch. What a warning. See, I would like to assume that this servant was not a believer. I would like to assume that. Because he failed to trust his master. If anything, we can see that God has not called us to waste what He has given us. Let us not be like that servant. God is not expecting us to do more than what He has proportioned to us. But He is expecting us to be faithful and put our gifts to use. His gifts were given due to His grace, and through His grace we can use it. You don't have to fear the performance trap. You don't have to fear failing. If you fell, get back up and continue in faithfulness. So as we wrap up, in what area are you needing God's grace today? Did you come here struggling with sin? Is it some sort of weakness? Some handicap? Is it depression? Is it grief? Is it a disease? You need God's grace in helping you to serve Him. Is there a place that God has gifted you? And you've stored His gift instead of using it. I hear the children need some help. Maybe you haven't fully trusted God yet to forgive you of your sins. So God's grace is enough. We mentioned God's grace is free, but it's not cheap. Galatians 3, verses 13 to 14 say it like this in the good God's Word translation. It says, Christ paid the price to free us. That's redemption. Free us from the curse that God's laws bring by becoming cursed instead of us. Scripture says everyone who is hung on a tree is cursed. Christ paid the price so that the blessing promised to Abraham, the grace, would come to all people of the world in Jesus Christ. And we would receive the promised Spirit through faith. You see, as I was there this morning looking at that frame of that cross, I want to remind you that He went through this things for you. I want to remind you that He served faithfully, that He had power over His weakness, because He also was made weak for us. That He overcame sin to save us. You see, Jesus became cursed and received the curse that we deserve, because we are the ones that are unable to follow God's laws. And when we have tried, we failed. So we follow them perfectly instead, and died on our behalf. That was the price that was paid for us, not cheap. So that we could receive His blessing. And if that wasn't enough, He has given us a Spirit, the Paracletus, His promise to never leave us. And that's hope not just for eternity, but for this life. Like my friend once said, why don't you come to God and trust Him today? He's trying to bless you. Or like the person that I once heard, the day that I knew Christ, we have nothing to lose. We have everything to lose. And you know what? Maybe you do have something to lose. You have your own attempts at getting right with God to lose. You have your own sin to lose. You have your failures to lose. Eternal life to gain. Strength to gain. His Spirit to gain. You have God's promise to always be with you. Through God's grace, you have salvation, power, and confidence, which is what I call grace upon grace. Let's pray. Well, Father, I guess there's not much to say but thank you. Today we thank you. We thank you that your grace is enough. It's enough for us. And I'm sorry, we're sorry, but every time we tell you that you are not enough because we do that. When we get mad because we say you're not blessing us. Father, I pray you forgive us for that. I pray that you help us to see how you are blessing us, how you are there in the middle of weakness, how you're still there even when we turn our back from you. Lord, we thank you so much for everything that you have given us. Every gift of your grace. And as we go out this week, Lord, we pray not that you would bless us, but that you would allow us to open our eyes and to see our blessings. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Well, thank you guys for coming. I'm glad you made it out to NPC this week. More than anything, I'm glad you made it out to worship the Lord here together.